Alright, in this segment we will look at putting the palm fronds on this queen palm. The first thing that we want to do is create a surface for that frond, and so I'm going to start by clicking T on my keyboard so that I have a top-down view, and I'm going to actually, for the sake of this demo, I'm going to continue to work in front view so that you can see a little bit better where we're going with this. So in the Create panel, I'm going to create another plane, and just give yourself a plane out there that may be large enough to cover one of these big palm fronds, stem all the way to the tip. So I'll begin here and see how that works for me. Now that I have that, I'm going to go to the Modify panel, and you can see where it says Plane in the stack. I'm going to say that I want that about 5 feet by 10 feet, and that may or may not be long enough, but we'll start there. And I'm going to give myself some segments because that will need to arch. So I'll start with perhaps 3 segments so that it can arch. And since there is a stem right down the center, and I may want to fold the frond in the center, I will also give myself another length segment. This is about as light geometry as you can get for a big palm frond. But there is a reason for that, and that is that this is an LOD that is beyond, it's going to be applied beyond the reset zone. So we really don't need to have it any more heavy mesh than that. So now that we have this in place, we are going to right click on plane, convert to editable poly so that we can work with that poly set and these sub-objects. And what we're going to do is create, put this away and do it again. We're going to go up here and put our map on there. So click on Material Editor in the right hand corner, one click, and go to a new material, diffuse. We're going to go get a bitmap again, say OK, and we are going to select the palm leaf. I'm going to pause while I find that. Alright, I have found my texture, and I select on that, say OK. It gives me a little preview in the preview window, and now I have that applied. And just so that you can see how that was prepared, we will go back to Photoshop and bring that texture map into Photoshop so that you can see how to prepare that very quickly. For those of you who do not know how to set up an alpha channel. Alright. Sized. Alright. So what I have here is the palm frond leaf that I'll be using on that map. And if I look in channels, you can see down here there's an alpha channel in place. And that alpha channel is what actually gives it the transparent quality around the leaves. Wherever it's white in this image, you can know that that will be transparent because of the black. I click on that, you can see it will appear red or pink in qualities, showing you that there is an alpha channel applied there. And we will actually record another segment on exactly how to set up an alpha channel. For those of you who are not familiar with doing that, you can access that in another tutorial. Alright, so we have our leaf. Go back to Max, and we have applied that to material, and we are going to apply the alpha channel to that. We click on this button. This is go to parent, and go down here to maps. Then you can see this opacity channel here. If I just simply click and drag that down to the opacity channel, it will put a copy of that in that channel, and it's just a quick way of being able to generate that. We'll close that, and we're going to go ahead and apply that to our surface. And click on standard, and you can see that it's applied in the direction that we don't want it, so I will show you how to go ahead and correct that. In opacity, and it appears that it's not showing correctly, so we'll do a little troubleshooting here, which will help you also if this should happen to you. Okay, opacity channel. Down here are the settings for the alpha channel. We can see that mono channel output is not selected, so once we select that, then you can see an image alpha is selected also. You can see that now we have something that's showing up like an alpha map. So now what we need to do is rotate that image on our surface so that it's going the opposite direction. And how we do that is accessing our UVs. Now we do that by going to the modifier list, selecting on the editable poly mesh, and applying a modifier, just as we did with the trunk. Unwrap UVW. Edit under parameters. Now we have access to our UVs, and we will find our map, palm leaves, and select our UVs. Selection modes are located down here. You can see that you can select by vertex, by edge, or by face, so that you have different options there. I usually go with the vertices, just out of habit. So I select them all, and now I'm going to select the rotate gizmo here. Once I get my gizmo, I can hold down shift, and then we have something that looks more like what we want on our surface right here. Alright, we'll close out of there. Actually, before I leave here, I want to just make sure that these vertices are all within range. Sometimes when they're not, they pick up the edge of the next image, and you get some lines where it should be clear. So I want to be very careful not to do that, because once you start duplicating this leaf or this palm frond to be used, then you have many different objects to fix. So it's better safe than sorry right off the bat. Alright, now that we have a nice frond, we're going to place that on our tree. Now, one thing that I have not taken into consideration here are the husks, the ones that wrap around the tree, and I think I would like to have some of that detail in there. We're going to go ahead and create that using different geometry, but we're going to try to noodle how we can do that with a very low resolution and still get the same appearance of that. So for now, what we're going to do is go ahead and apply our leaves as we would. We're going to right click on unwrap and collapse all. Collapse the stack so that we're working with this frond. And then we will apply the rotate. I'm going to go ahead and rotate that. Rotate it around 180 degrees. It's always easier if you keep things on the square as you are applying them, at least initially. Okay, so go ahead and put that up in there and begin to just grab the vertices and give yourself some definition in that leaf. Just want the center ones so you can see that you're getting something that looks like an arch. It's backwards, so we'll have to turn that around. And gives you a leafy quality. Now, if you've done this, like I have, not paying attention to which direction your map is actually facing, this is very easy to correct by going to Polygon in your subobject menu and selecting all those, scrolling down till you see there's a lot of options available in Stack these days, and we're just going to flip the normals is what we want to do. Doesn't look like it did it yet. I'm going to pause this and come back. I've already paused once, so. Now let's see, where are we going to find that option? I'm working with the newest version of Max, and all the interface options are a little bit, the location of them are a little bit new to me. Some of them. Well, basically what we're going to do. Alright. This is taking way too long to find this. No, it was correct. I just didn't deselect so that I could see the results of that. So it is right here. Select your polys. Under Edit Polygons, you simply click Flip, and it flips the normals so that the normals are up. But it does bring up another good point, that these particular polygons need to be two-sided. So with that, we will go to the material editor and select on the material associated with the palm frond, and if you click to go to parent, you will see right here under shader basic parameters two-sided, and that's what you want to click. Now some leads will want you to actually model both sides of the faces, but usually if you go with a two-sided, they are more expensive, but you will be able to see both sides of the palm frond, which will be needed in the game. Alright, and we will continue in our next segment.